Star Wars 7x7 episode 2948. I'm almost at the end of my run of Star Wars Celebration Anaheim interviews. This is the penultimate one, and it features two folks, actually. It's Andy and Josh from the Holochronicles Podcast. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So as I've been closing into 3,000 episodes, I've been sharing reviews that people have left for the show on Apple Podcasts and asking for more reviews because it helps Apple Podcasts decide like, oh yeah, we got to show this podcast in search results and help more people find this daily dose of Star Wars joy and add it into their lives. And so this one comes from Hebeke, Hebeke. This is one of the new ones. And it's titled Entertaining, and the review says fun and informative, and that's it. And that's perfectly fine because, you know, maybe if you're leaving a review, you're inspired, maybe the spirit moves you to write more, and that's perfectly fine. And if this is what you got, then this is what you got too. A review is a review from Apple's perspective, so you do you. You write whatever review you want. I'm super grateful no matter how many words you put into it. So Hibiki, thank you so much for taking the time to leave the review. I really appreciate it. And if you're listening and you have thought, oh, I'd like to leave a review, but I don't know what I'd say, it doesn't have to be long. It can be real quick. You just get there, do it, and be gone. And it's awesome. Even if you don't listen on Apple Podcasts, you can still leave a review there. And thank you so much for considering it. Thank you so much for taking the time, no matter how much you're writing. I am so grateful for it. Okay, so let's get to Andy and Josh. So I caught up with them at the podcast meetup as well. And yeah, it was happening at Thursday night in the hotel bar for one of the hotels that's right along the, little avenue, the walking path there nearby the Anaheim Convention Center. And Holochronicles is mostly about toys and collectibles, but they are also dedicated to all things Star Wars, including cinema and TV, comics and books as well. And they also get into experiences with buying and selling and trading all sorts of Star Wars collectibles and merchandise. Very cool and wonderful guys. And so yeah, it was really awesome to be with them in person. Gosh, in person was just so weird to be able to do and so awesome. And they've been supporters of the show for many years too. So yeah, it was so nice to be able to catch up with them in person. And this actually, another situation where it was the first time I was getting to meet them in person. Like it's been over Zoom before. And so yeah, just so awesome to be in the physical presence of very cool people. So you're going to hear their individual answers to the Star Wars One Question interview, which again is, when it comes to Star Wars, what's the biggest life lesson or bit of wisdom that you carry with you? And that's coming up right here in just a second. So it just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the podcast as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be. And now, without further ado, here are Andy and Josh from the Holochronicles Podcast. Hi, what's your name and your Star Wars claim to fame?
Hi, I'm Josh from the Holochronicles Podcast.
Andy from the Holochronicles Podcast.
Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen. And here's the big question. What is the biggest life lesson or bit of wisdom you've gleaned from Star Wars?
Josh first.
Okay, I think Star Wars has taught me patience. And I say that not only from what the content that Star Wars provides, but also just the timeline, our timeline of Star Wars. The patience we've had to have to fall in love with the prequels, the patience that we've, and within that patience came more content that just made us feel more love for the franchise. The patience we had to have to let another company take over Star Wars and give us everything we have now. That's what I really appreciate it, and I think that's important for life itself, because everyone can change, everything can change. We live in a world of instant condemnation, and if you give it time, it might get better, and it has.
Terrific answer. Thank you. All right, Andy, what's your answer?
Well, first of all, it's great to see you, Alan.
It's great to see you guys, too.
Oh, man.
For the first time ever in person. It's so awesome.
So much fun. The lesson that I keep coming back to from Star Wars is never give up. Hope and help come in places unlooked for sometimes, and always at the right time.
Wonderful. I love it. All right, so where can people follow you guys on your continuing Star Wars journey?
You can definitely find us at Holochronicles in most social areas, especially YouTube and Twitter.
And any personal, or does that cover it?
Well, I mean, we've got Instagram and Facebook too, but we're a little more regular on the others.
But at Holochronicles, we're good there.
All right, and I'll post links to that in the show notes as well. Thank you guys so much. It's so great to see you in person.
Alan, we love you, Alan!
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.